Is Nicolas Maduro next? That question has been echoing quietly through intelligence briefings, court documents, and diplomatic corridors for years, but lately, it's getting louder. Welcome to one of the most explosive geopolitical stories of our time. Is Maduro next? Inside the U.S. charges that could put Venezuela's president behind bars. For decades, the United States has accused foreign leaders of crimes, imposed sanctions, and issued arrest requests, but rarely has a sitting head of state been publicly named, charged, and hunted in this way. Nicolas Maduro, the man who rose from bus driver to president, now stands accused by U.S. prosecutors of crimes that read like the plot of a political thriller: narcoterrorism, conspiracy to traffic cocaine, and working with armed groups labeled as terrorists. According to U.S. authorities, these charges aren't symbolic. They carry life sentences, sealed indictments, and even multimillion-dollar rewards. But here's the twist. Maduro still rules Venezuela, protected by power, borders, and allies. So how real is the threat of arrest? Could a sitting president actually be detained, extradited, or imprisoned? Or is this all political theater? Stay with us until the end, because the final revelation may completely change how you see this case. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe and like this video. It tells YouTube that in-depth investigative stories like this matter, helping us reach more viewers. If you're able to support the channel even further, consider leaving a super thanks. It directly helps us continue producing deep research content. If not, no problem at all, just comment below what shocks you the most. Now let's begin. In March 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice made a move that stunned the international community. Federal prosecutors in New York unsealed indictments accusing Nicolas Maduro and several high-ranking Venezuelan officials of participating in a massive drug trafficking conspiracy. According to the charges, Maduro allegedly worked with Colombia's FARC guerrilla group to flood the United States with cocaine, using drug profits as a weapon to undermine American society. Prosecutors didn't mince words. They described a criminal enterprise that, if proven in court, would place Maduro among the most serious international defendants ever charged by the U.S. The accusations include narcoterrorism conspiracy, conspiracy to import cocaine, and possession of military-grade weapons in support of drug trafficking. These are not minor offenses. They carry potential life sentences. To underline the seriousness, the U.S. government announced a reward of up to $15 million for information leading to Maduro's arrest or conviction. For American audiences, this raised a critical question. When was the last time the U.S. put a bounty on a sitting foreign president? The answer is simple: almost never. But charging someone is not the same as arresting them. Maduro remains in Venezuela, surrounded by loyal security forces, shielded by state power. The U.S. cannot simply send agents to Caracas. International law protects heads of state from arrest within their own country. This is where the legal chess match begins. If Maduro ever leaves Venezuela and enters a country willing to cooperate with U.S. extradition requests, the situation could change overnight. Every international trip becomes a calculated risk. Every diplomatic visit carries legal danger. In this sense, the charges function like a legal cage, intangible but real. They restrict movement, isolate leadership, and signal to the world that the U.S. considers Maduro a criminal suspect, not just a political adversary. Supporters argue the charges are politically motivated, part of a long history of U.S. intervention in Latin America. Critics respond that evidence presented, including witness testimony from former insiders, suggests something far more serious. The truth may ultimately depend on whether these allegations ever face a courtroom. So if the charges are real, why hasn't Nicolas Maduro been arrested? The answer lies in geopolitics, not just law. Maduro's survival depends on three pillars: internal control, international allies, and strategic leverage. Domestically, he maintains power through security forces, intelligence agencies, and political repression. Internationally, he relies on support from countries like Russia, China, Iran, and Cuban nations that openly reject U.S. authority and are unlikely to cooperate with American arrest warrants. Then there's oil. Venezuela's vast energy Reserves give Maduro leverage in a world facing energy instability. Even governments critical of his rule sometimes find themselves negotiating, not arresting. But history shows that power can shift quickly. Leaders once thought untouchable Slobodan Milosevic, Charles Taylor, Manuel Noriega eventually faced arrest when political protection collapsed. In Maduro's case, several scenarios could change everything. A major internal political transition could expose him to arrest domestically or abroad. A shift in alliances might make travel dangerous. A future Venezuelan government could cooperate with international courts. There's also the International Criminal Court, which has opened investigations into alleged crimes against humanity in Venezuela. While the ICC process is slow, it carries a different kind of weight, one that does not expire with political deals. If an arrest warrant were ever issued by an international tribunal, Maduro's legal exposure would multiply. Another factor is time. U.S. indictments don't disappear. They wait. Years can pass. Decades even. The legal net remains open, ready for the moment political gravity shifts. This creates a psychological and strategic pressure that shapes Maduro's every move. He governs not only as president, but as a man who knows that one wrong step beyond friendly borders could end in handcuffs. So, is Nicolas Maduro next? The honest answer is this. No one knows when or if, but the legal trap is already set. The U.S. charges against him are not symbolic. They are detailed, serious, and unprecedented for a sitting head of state. History teaches us that power can protect leaders for years, even decades, but it rarely protects them forever. The story of Maduro is no longer just about Venezuela's internal crisis. It's about how far international law, geopolitics, and accountability can reach in the modern world. Today, he stands as president. Tomorrow, the same documents that sit quietly in U.S. courtrooms could define his legacy in a very different place. And that's what makes this case so chilling. Before you leave, remember to subscribe and like. It's how you tell YouTube that deep, serious investigations like this deserve visibility. If you're able to support the channel even more, a super thanks helps us continue this work. If not, just comment below what shocked you the most. The charges, the bounty, or how close power and prison really are. And don't forget, watch until the very end of our next video, because the next revelation may be the most explosive one yet.